What's up? What's up? What's up? It's your man ChazzEllis once again. And like usual, I'm going live. Today I'm going to talk about high value men and what they want. But before I get into that, make sure you hit that super chat button if you want to ask questions or if you just want to show love and support. You can shout your boy out or whatever. Also, you can hit the sticker at the bottom if you want to show some love that way too. Support the live, support the chat. I'm going to talk about a few different things on this podcast tonight. What up? What up? I hadn't seen you on here before, I don't think. So I see some of y'all getting on here. If you in the chat, say what's up to your man's ChazzEllis real quick. If you in here, say what's up. Hit me with a thumbs up. Hit me with a thumbs up. Hit me with a like also. Make sure y'all hitting the likes before I get started. Hey, what's up, Tish? That's a regular. Make sure y'all hitting that like button. Make sure y'all hitting those like buttons. I see a lot of y'all in here, but you hadn't pushed the button yet. We're going to go ahead and do that. Let's get everybody in here pushing these buttons. What's up? What's up? What's up? I see some new faces, people who ain't said anything before. What's up? If you in here, let it be known. Let it be known. I'm going to give y'all shouts out. Christine Dotson, Ed Marie LaFontaine, Tish Experience. I already said you, but I guess people don't know your full name unless I say it. What's up? What is it? Is it? Man, I gotta get my vision situation. There we go. Mai. Man, I be messing up people's names. I gotta do better. Gots to be more careful. You've been in here quite a few times though, so I know who you are. I may mess up your name, but I'll remember your story forever. Brittany, okay, I see you back. See Bellamy, I think you've been here once or twice before. Let's see who else we got. Come on, if you in here, say what's up. Marvin, I haven't seen you here before. Or maybe you hadn't made it known. If you hadn't, if you've never posted before or you never hit the comment section before, make sure you come in here and hit the comment section. I want to know who's in here. Y'all climb on in here and let me know what's up. Get on in that chat box. I want to see who's in there. Hit me with the thumbs up, the smiley face. Say where you from. Stop. That's the name. That's not what I'm telling y'all to do. Jessica, what's happening? Evelyn. Okay, I'm seeing y'all coming through. Lai, what's up? Some of y'all I see on a regular basis. Hit me with something, a thumbs up if you hadn't done it yet. What's up? I see y'all, Talia. Okay, some people who don't even be talking most of the time. That's right. In writing, so to speak, let your voice be heard. All right, I see some people in here who have not hit the like button yet. Hit that like button real quick. Mash that like button if you haven't already. Amara, what's up? I see you. I'm here too. Okay, all right. Dear God, I'm here. I'm here. What movie is that from? For people who movie buffs, what movie is that from? That's all I'm going to give y'all, that little piece of it. I want to see who the movie buffs are. What movie is that from? If you haven't hit the like button, make sure you hit it. Jackie, what's up? The color purple, Amara, that's right. That was when Celie got a little revenge on Mister. Until you do right by me, everything you even think about gonna fail. That's one of the saddest movies ever. But I did like that it had a triumphant ending at least. You know, the family got back together. She got her kids back finally. You know, that even though they was kind of grown, but hey, it was a family reunion. So it was a family reunion at least. I did like that part. I ain't gonna lie though, my favorite character is the dad. I know he's a bad guy, but the dude was hilarious. Thank you. Somebody said that's a nice shirt. That's what's up. I see y'all hitting that button. That's what's up. It's a few people who have not hit the like button. Hit that like button. We getting started. We getting y'all in here. If you in here, you just got in, announce yourself. Announce yourself and get a shout out. Make sure y'all hitting that like button, showing some love. We're going to be talking about high value men and what they want. First, I'm going to hit y'all with a little bit of the news. Because y'all ask me about these things, so you know I'm trying to hit y'all with whatever I can, let y'all know what's going on, or let y'all know my opinion on different stuff. Yo, go ahead and hit that like button. Keep mashing that like button. Okay, the first thing I'm going to talk about is, should Kevin Samuels be canceled? About 10 people DM me about that on Instagram. My Instagram is AskChazzEllis. What's up, Natasha? For my Instagram is AskChazzEllis. For some of y'all that don't know, if you follow me today, I'll follow you back today. But you got to follow today. Don't try to follow tomorrow, 3-4 days from now. I'll probably forget. Probably won't even be on there or nothing like that. Judy Chronicles, what's up? I see you. So the question that I was asked is, should Kevin Samuels be canceled? And for me, you're going to have to look it up. Carla, you got to look it up for that one, because that's a complicated question. So a lot of people feel like his message is harsh, which is your right to feel that way. A lot of people feel like he's down in black women and women in general, which is your right to feel that way. But I might be the wrong person to ask this because I don't think anybody should get canceled. Nobody. I don't think hateful people, racist people, nobody. Because I believe when you cancel, what does it mean to really cancel somebody? It really just means to not allow them to say their opinion in a public forum or internet or television or something like that. That's all it really means. You didn't cancel the idea. You didn't cancel the person's voice to people who want to listen to it. They can go gather somewhere. What are you going to do? Arrest them for it? They have the right to freedom of speech and assembly. That means that just because you don't like what somebody has to say and you don't like what they got going on, doesn't mean you can stop them from saying it, because that's a slippery slope. If I get to stop somebody from saying what I don't like, then they will get to stop me from saying what they don't like. Or somebody eventually will get to stop me from saying what they don't like. Or stop someone else from saying things that I feel, I want to hear, but maybe they don't. So I don't think that you can really start this whole canceling people because they're saying something that you don't like or you don't enjoy. If you want to cancel them for yourself, personally do it. If you want to get a group of your friends together and say, hey, we ain't watching this anymore, we're not messing with it, cool, that's fine. But when you're trying to say YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, or whatever should take something away from the millions of people who do want to watch it, then you're trying to infringe upon their rights because their rights are pissing you off. And I say that about people who I don't even like. It doesn't matter. I don't care if somebody makes a AskChazzEllis channel. If they want to get on that channel and they want to talk about me, as long as the things that they're saying are not erroneous or personal threats towards me, you know, where you cross the legal line, then, hey, it ain't no big deal. Everybody has a right to say what they want to say, whether we like it or not. I think, you know, that's the fundamental thing in America that we have to maintain. So do I think it should get canceled for that reason? Absolutely not. Let that man say what he want to say. Let everybody who wants to say some shit say it. It's America. People who talk about me, they have a right to. Now, you may not be able to say it on my channel. You get your own channel. Get your own channel and talk stuff. You know, but as far as YouTube taking you down or something like that, nah. I was mad when Instagram canceled Boosie. They took Boosie off of there. And here's why. This is what I don't like about cancel culture. You take Boosie off. I know some of y'all know who Lil Boosie is. You take Boosie off for the stuff that he's saying. Then it's like, well, why do you let anybody get away with it? What's up, LA Peaches? Why do you let anybody get away with it then? Why can anybody say anything that hurts people's feelings? Why can anybody say anything? This is what I don't like. When I see somebody get canceled for saying something, like say, for instance, they say something about, I don't want to get in a specific group. Say you say something about clowns and they go, you have now been canceled because you were talking about clowns. Then somebody else come on and say something about basketball players and they don't get canceled. So what does that tell basketball players? I have no value. You cancel people when they talk about these people you care about. It just shows you who people care about when somebody gets canceled. And if people talk about people like you all the time and don't get canceled, it tells you that you personally have no value. It's disrespectful. So since you can't cancel people for talking about everybody, don't cancel people for talking about anybody. That's the way I look at it. All right. This is something y'all been asking me about. This is a touchy subject. Let me do some shout outs for some people that just got in there. Did I hit LA Peaches? Sasha, what's up? Pina Colada, what's up? I appreciate the comment you threw to me today on AskChazzEllis, or it might have been yesterday. I read it today. Let's see, who else we got? Did I say Judy already? Okay. Tiffany, what's up? All right, the next thing y'all asked me about, this is one of these other touchy subjects that some people gonna feel some type of way about. But people ask me about folks celebrating the release of Bill Cosby. And what do I think about that? I don't know what the celebration is or isn't. I think, obviously, what's up, Nina? I think everybody has the right to celebrate if that's what they want to do. But this is the way I feel about the Bill Cosby situation. Regardless of guilt or innocent, I'm gonna come at it from a perspective of how I feel about the law. As some of y'all know, I'm a former police officer myself. So this is the feeling that I have about the law. The law has to have due process no matter what. Due process has to be done no matter what. Whether you like the person, whether you feel what they did was the most egregious thing in the world, whether you identify with the victim, whether you hate the victim, whether you I don't know, whatever you feel. It doesn't matter. Whether you love the victim, it does not matter. It doesn't matter. Due process has to be done no matter what. And here's why. It's a slippery slope. When I was a police officer, I told other police officers this all the time. It's a slippery slope. If you decide, well, I don't like Bill Cosby and I don't like what Bill Cosby did, I identify with these victims, I believe these victims. Okay, fine. That's great. You go through due process. If he's convicted, according to the letter of the law, he goes to jail. That's the way life works. He goes through his appeal process or whatever. That's the way the law works. That's the way it's supposed to go. But if you circumvent certain things in the law that allow you to get a conviction, then you'll only do it again and again and again. And sometimes we won't agree with you. Like this time, maybe a lot of people go, you know what? I felt like dude was wrong. I felt like he was guilty. I felt like it was the most egregious act. He deserves to go to jail. Cool. But next time, it may be your cousin on a drug charge. Next time, your brother may be a police officer and he may do something and he just gets no justice at all and they just throw him in jail. Next time, it may be a self-defense case where involving your mother. You understand what I'm saying? This is why we have to have due process. I know some people get in their feelings about it and go, well, no, and they want to make it an emotional thing, but we can't do that. We cannot make it an emotional thing. So we always got to look at due process of the law. We got to try to make sure that we treat people fairly, even if we don't feel like they deserve it, especially when we don't feel like they deserve it. Like I said, when I was a police officer, I told cops this all the time. If you don't feel like a person deserves due process, give it to them, especially at that time. Because that's the difference between America and a dictatorship. Some people might feel like there isn't a difference, but our justice system isn't perfect, but it's still a great justice system. And if it's operated properly, then it actually does work. Yeah, guilty people do go free sometimes, sure. Innocent people do get locked up. But the purpose of our justice system is so we don't have more after innocence projects 10, 20 years from now. Appreciate you, Natasha. Everybody start hitting them stickers and them super chats, man. Follow Natasha's lead. Okay, so now I'm going to go into what y'all came here for. With no further ado, what is a high value man and what do high value men want? The reason why I'm going to talk about what a high value man is because obviously there's been some debate about this. Before I go forward, everybody hit that like button. Let's get the like buttons. As many people who are in the chat, hit the like button. It takes literally nothing for you to hit that like button. So just push the button. Boop. That's all you got to do. And you will have done what you needed to do. Lulu, what's up? You got on early today. I think you said you got off work before, and that's why you might have missed. So everybody hit the like button. As soon as you get on, hit the like button. That's just showing, that's the easiest way you can show a little bit of support is hit those like buttons. So let's get them up. And then we can go forward. Be an active participant in your own rescue. I'm giving you the game. You can at least hit the like button. You feel me knocking? If I'm giving you the game, it's right here in front of you. All you got to do, hit the like button. That's what I just said. Just hit the like button and support. That's all you got to do. Okay. So, just like, hey. There you go. Tell them get the likes up. There you go. Put that thumbs up on there when you're done. That's right, Brittany. There you go. Tell them what's up. I like that. I like people who take initiative. That's what's up, Carla. I like people who take initiative. I like that. Be an active participant in your own rescue. Okay, so we're going to talk about what a high value man is first. That's important because there's debate about this. I don't like to get into emotional debate. I'm gonna get into that in a second. LA Peaches, I got you. You talking about which one you should start with first? I don't know which all ones you got, so I can't tell you yet. Put a list of the ones you got, and then I go back and tell you about that. All right. So, what is a high value man? Now we're gonna get a lot of questions about this. We're gonna go back and forth a lot about this, right? What a high value man is. So what I'm gonna do is break down things based on the most simple aspect of it. A high value man is a man women want to be with and men want to be like. Okay, that's the basis that we're gonna work from, because that's something we can all agree on. Person of the highest value is always going to be somebody that the opposite sex wants to be with. The same sex pretty much wants to be like. This is the basic. Obviously, there's going to be whatever exceptions, but this is basic. Okay. Now, I broke this down into, I know a lot of people talk about money and you got to make this amount of money and this, that, and the other. That's not across the board, because everybody cares about different things and you're still high value. You don't have to be rich for people to want to be with you and people to want to be like you, right? All right. So the first thing I put on there is resources. Now, of course, everybody wants somebody with some type of resources. That's why I put that in the high value. Every woman wants to be with somebody with some type of resources. Does it have to be six figures? No. Because $60,000 in Alabama is more than $100,000 in San Francisco. If you're living in Birmingham, Alabama, you make 60 grand, you making more than 100 grand in San Francisco. Have you seen housing prices in San Francisco? They off the chain. So basically, when we talk about resources, we're gonna have high, medium, and usable resources. Basically, just average resources. So high resources would be like somebody making 100, 200, 300, 400, whatever, $1 million, $2 million, 50 million, 100 million. Those would be high resources. A medium resource guy is going to be somebody who's making like anywhere from 50 to 100, just depending on where you live. Do they have resources that are pretty much in the middle of people who live where you live? Then usable is basically like, do they have enough resources to where y'all could both live in the same apartment or something? Right? The next thing is, so y'all might want to write this down if y'all want to. I'll come back with this and put it in like a master class or something like that. This is going to be just an overview so we can talk about it, but we got to have a basis to talk from. Okay, so the next thing is appearance. Now, appearance is going to be important, whether you want top model looking dude, whether you want Idris Elba, Brad Pitt, Shamar Moore, Omarion, or one of them dudes, you know what I mean? Whatever type of level of physical appearance, if you want that person who you see on television, who women flock to because of their looks. Then you have above average. Maybe you're not going to be on TV for your looks, but the guy is better looking than most of the dudes that you're going to see around where you live. Then you got pretty regular. I didn't put below average in there because you're not going to be high value if you're below average in terms of your looks. You're not going to be high value if you are exactly at average. Your looks, at least, are not going to put you in the high value range. All right. Then we have status. For our status, we have global, situational, and local. Your global status is like this person is popping on a global level. This is like Yeah, Trey Songz. You can put him in there for the looks too. Yeah, people, Mr. Steal Your Girl. So we know, and we're gonna stop here for a second and talk about that. When we talk about looks, we're gonna be talking about, when we say top looks, it's not a certain height, it's not a certain exact build or whatever. It's what a guy looks like in terms of, does he look like somebody who is known for being good looking? Like Trey Songz, Mr. Steal Your Girl. They call him Mr. Steal Your Girl. So that should tell you right there how that's gonna go. Right? So thank you, Nita. That tells you, like, if you're trying to date somebody that looks like that, you're dating top looks. Okay? If you're trying to date somebody, if the dude you're dating looks like a celebrity, and you like, yo, this is the guy I want, he looks just like this particular celebrity, well, then you're trying to date top looks. Period. Status. Status is one of those things where it's going to be based on what you're looking for. So global status, Warren Buffett, Barack Obama, Donald Trump, somebody who is status on a global level. They don't got to be that big, obviously, but I just gave you like real top level people. So status on a global level. That's what we're going to be looking at when we look at global status, like high level status. Situational status is, they might be the professor in your class. So in that particular situation, they are popping. They might have a bunch of friends on Instagram, and they are popping on Instagram. All right. They may have, they might be a coach, a football coach or a basketball coach. You see what I'm saying? Their status is situational. If they leave that particular realm, they may not be that, their status may not be that high. But in that particular realm, they have high status. Okay. Then you have local status. Local is basically like, hey, I'm popping on this small level in this small town, period. Okay. So now the next thing we have, this is for people who are writing it down, swag. Swag is basically, am I at the coolest level of swag, the personable level of swag, or passable level of swag? So swag is basically like, y'all put somebody in the chat that's the coolest person you could think of. Like the coolest dude, somebody known for being cool, is cool as hell. All right, so we'll wait on that, and then we'll say, okay, who's the cool guy? So we got like the coolest level of status. That's what some swag. That's what some people want. Then we got passable level of swag. That means this person is pretty cool, but okay, like say they got Barack level swag. Yeah, Barack, Denzel Washington, Barack. Those type of people got like swag on 10 billion, right? Okay, you said Drake for swag. Okay, people who got swag on 10 billion. 50 Cent, swag on 10 billion. Like when they come in the room, people messing with them just on the swag, not on the status, not on the looks. Idris Elba, they might have that too, but the swag is on bananas. So that's the highest level of swag. Passable swag is like, you might be cool for the area that you're in. You might, you medium. You medium cool. Passable swag is, you're not a lame. All right, you're not a lame. You're not somebody who just blends into the crowd. You're a little bit above that. All right, see, we got a lot of people that, okay, Chris Brown, Jay-Z, Russell Brand. See, y'all see how it's different types of swag, but these are people who are known for like, this is my swag. I'm that dude. Okay, then the next thing you have is interest level. Now, interest level is going to be super high. Super high is like Steve Urkel and Laura. Like, I'm on you every second. Then you have hot and cold. That's sometimes I'm on you. Sometimes I'm not. Then you have not much. All right. And I'm going to go over this in a master class, but I'm just trying to give y'all a general. Then we have spirituality. These are things people care about. This don't necessarily mean y'all got to be the same. You got to be, everybody's not the same religion. But this said, whatever religion you fall into, they're either going to be the highest level of that religion. That's like priest. They're going to be just a deacon, like I'm a regular person. I'm a little higher up than the average person. Or it's going to be somebody that's the total opposite of your religion. Y'all feel me knocking? Y'all with me still? Then the next thing we have is generosity. So this is going to be a person that's going to be like Santa, where it's like Santa Claus. I'm giving everything. I'm taking care of everything. Then you're going to have give and take. You're going to give sometimes. They're going to take sometimes. Then you're going to have somebody that pretty much all they do is take. And those are the basic pillars of value, of a high value man. He's going to have resources, the appearance, the status, the swag, his level of interest, spirituality, and generosity. Those are 7 things. Okay? Those are 7 things. Now I'm going to go into what women bring to the table and what men generally want from women. Now, first of all, let's get our likes up. We're going to acknowledge some people that just got in here. Nita Hill, appreciate you also because you showed some love to the chat and you put Brian McKnight in there. Start back at 1. No. Okay. You said you want a Santa. Okay. I'm going to go into that. Because that's important. Let's get the chat. Let's get the likes up to equal the number of people in the chat. Let's hit them likes. Like. Everybody who just got in, push that like button. There we go. Let's get it up. I see it moving. It stalled for a second. Let's get it moving. Let me see some of these people y'all put on swag too. Liam Neeson got some real swag to him. Snoop. Barack. Diddy. Eric Thompson. I don't know who that is. Let's see who else we got. The spirituality and religion did go together, but it's just you're specific to your religion. So when I put spirituality, there's different levels of spirituality. These are just ones that I just use this name. So priest would be like, hey, the highest level of your spirituality. It could be imam, it could be whatever, whatever you are, it doesn't matter. And then the next level would be like, hey, I'm just kind of a member. And then the next level would be kind of, hey, I'm just totally opposite of your religion. And that's why you like me, because I'm just totally outside of what people do religiously. Okay, we got a lot of people in here. All right. So now we're going to go into what these men want from women. Now, a lot of you have probably thought about what you want as far as these things that men have to make them high value, right? Some of you say, well, when it comes to resources, that's my biggest thing. I want somebody with a lot of resources. Okay. So now you have to put that in mind when you think about what you want. We're going to name the 7 things. If y'all can get in this comment section real quick for me, I'm going to name the 7 things. And then I want you guys to name, to put them in order for yourself. Like what's most important, not as important. Okay. Try to put them in order of greatest importance. Y'all going to get like 30 seconds. We'll give you a minute to do that. Okay. So number 1 is resources. See if we can type this, see if we can put this in the chat box, y'all. Number 1 is resources. Appearance is the next one. Status. Swag. Interest level. Be real now. We got to have this conversation in good faith, okay? So be real about what you care about. Spirituality, generosity. Okay? So we got resources, appearance, status, swag, interest level, spirituality, and generosity. For people who want the lives, all the lives are going to be on Patreon. That's where all the lives are going to be for people who are looking for the lives. Sign up on Patreon, and you can connect with all of the lives. All right, I want everybody that can. But look, when we do this, you got to have it in good faith, okay? You got to we got to have this conversation in good faith, or I'm not going to really be able to help you. Put the things that you notice first and the things that you date people for first on the list. So don't put interest level first. If you out here, if you don't date, if the person was not physically attractive, but they were really interested in you and you wouldn't talk to them, then that doesn't make someone high value to you. So you got generosity, spirituality, swag, appearance, resources, status, interest level. Okay. So that's the first one we got. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to break this down using what pina colada you just used. All right. So we're going to use pina colada first. So everybody, you got to put down what you really care about, okay? Because otherwise I'm giving y'all this free game right now, but it won't work for you if you put down some bullshit just because you want to. Okay? Just because you think it sounds cool. Put down what you really want. I'm not going to get to everybody, but I'm going to get to a couple of y'all, whoever kind of get on here first. All right, so for pina colada, she says generosity first. So if generosity is the most important thing to you, then you're going to want the highest level of generosity. That means you're going to want somebody who is pretty much going to just look after you. You know what I'm saying? They're going to give it up constantly. Money, resources, attention, they're going to give it up. Basically, they're going to be looking out for you. So that means you got to think about what they're going to be looking for. For somebody to be super generous, then you're going to be in a situation where you're probably going to have to be extremely cooperative. You're probably going to have to be physically up to par. you may have to have a certain level of purity also. Your resources probably ain't going to have to be that great. So what does that mean? If you're looking for somebody who is going to be generous and going to give you money, they're going to have to be interested enough to pick you to be generous towards. You get what I'm saying? If you're looking for somebody who has a certain level of spirituality, so say for instance, you're a Christian. We'll use that because a lot of people are Judeo-Christian. So we'll use that, or Muslim or something like that. It would fit in the same categories for this. So if you're looking for somebody who's a deep Christian, you put that number 2 on your list of things. So you're looking for somebody who, whatever spiritual group they're in, whether you're Muslim, whether you're Christian, whatever, you're looking for somebody with some deep spiritual values. That means that you are going to have to express those same deep spiritual values, but not just in thought, in word. They're going to have to be expressed in your purity level, in the way that you present yourself online, in the way that you present yourself publicly. So if you're saying, I want a deep spiritual man, that means you can't be on Instagram shaking that ass. You can't do it. You can't do it because you're not going to get that. If you want somebody that's going to be generous, that means that in most cases, they're going to be looking for somebody who's submissive because they're providing. Because that's what they want to do, is provide. So they're going to be looking for somebody who's submissive. Also, they're going to be looking for somebody whose looks are on point. So you're going to either have to be mid-level in looks or upper level in looks. And if not, you got to make up for it by being top level in submission, top level in your level of purity. I'm just being real with y'all. Because if you're looking for a provider, your resources aren't going to help you out. If you're looking for swag, once again, you're going to have your physical game up even higher, because that's one of that was kind of third on the list, but that's still important. That's one of the top 3. So you're going to need your appearance tight. All right. And you might even have to have resources to maintain your level of swag. Y'all get what I'm going with here? Whatever you want in a man, you have to look and say, what is that man most likely going to want? Because whatever you put as your top 3, basically, that's what you're going to have in the most abundance. The things that connect with that. So somebody puts, Mai puts appearance. So you put appearance. Okay, so if you're looking for appearance, you're going to probably have to have your physical up, or you're going to have to be able to provide resources. This is probably what you're going to be in a position to have to do. You're either going to have your physical up to where you can match theirs, or you're going to have to be able to provide resources. This is pretty much what a man has to do when he cares about looks. All right, who else do we got? Okay, Laya, you got resources, generosity, interest level, appearance, spirituality. Okay. So resources is your biggest thing, and then you want generosity. So if resources is number 1 on your list, then that means for most women, what guys are looking for is they're looking for your physical. They're looking for your level of purity, basically. Do you, everywhere from none to you belong to the streets. Let's be real, okay? They're looking for everything from none to you belong to the streets. So your purity level is going to probably have to be up. because you're looking for resources and generosity. There's nothing wrong with that. Cooperation is going to have to be on the highest level. So that means that you are going to have to basically be at total submission level. I know y'all may not want to hear this, but if you want someone to provide for you, your level of submission is going to have to be extremely high. You maybe don't like hearing that word, but your level of submission is going to have to be extremely high, because that's the most important things to you. And then your interest level. So if you want somebody with a super high interest level, that means that you're going to have to take care of your physical situation and make sure that you're always at the highest level physically that you possibly can be. Also, you're going to have to make sure that you come off as pure as possible. I ain't saying you got to be a virgin, but you can't be out here looking like you belong to the streets. Now, it's cool to belong to the streets, but you can't look like you belong to the streets, because nobody's going to want to spend their money taking care of you and showing you this level of generosity, especially somebody with a bunch of resources, because you put that as your number one, which is nothing wrong with that. But that means that whatever job you have, you can't count. Like, you can't be like, hey, I'm a good catch to a man because I have a good job, because you put resources as one of your number ones. That was your number one. You put generosity as your number two. So that means that what you're going to have to bring to the table is total cooperation, which means whatever his plan is, you on board. If his idea of a great woman is for you to cook, clean every day, rub his feet at night, that's got to be you. Otherwise, them resources and generosity ain't going to keep coming. All right. For your number four, you have appearance, which means you're flexible on appearance, but you want somebody that looks good still. That's cool. So if appearance is the next thing you got to make sure your appearance is straight. You got to make sure that your cooperation is on point, because if they got all of this stuff, you got to have your stuff together. All right. You get what I'm saying? Natasha will do you appearance, swag, interest, generosity, spirituality, status, and resources. Okay, so your top three are appearance, swag, interest. Okay, so for you, it seems like for you ain't really necessarily looking for somebody to financially support your situation, because if you are looking for that, you put those two things too far on the bottom, it's going to make it tough on you. So if physical appearance is something that you're really looking for, that means that you're going to have to either have resources in order for somebody with physical appearance to say, hey, I want to be with this person because they have resources to provide, which means, and you're going to also have to be generous and be willing to provide those resources, or you're going to have to be physically at the highest level you could possibly be at. That means that's got to be your daily routine, your daily grind. You got to be at the gym. You got to buy the best clothes, the best makeup. Your cooperation level can be kind of medium. If you're just looking for appearance first, you don't have to have the best cooperation. It could be kind of 50-50. You're willing to compromise. That's cool. You don't got to be like super submissive or nothing like that, because you're just looking for somebody with looks and swag. And generosity is like fourth on your list. You're looking for somebody with interest, got to keep your looks on point, because I'm going to be real with you. If you want somebody with high interest, the way you look physically is going to have to be on point, or that's going to lower the level of interest. I'm just being real with y'all. Not trying to hurt nobody's feelings, but that's just the way it is. Okay, we'll do one more. Talia, resources, interest level, generosity, spirituality, appearance, and status and swag. Okay, cool. So resources is number one on your list. That means if you have resources as number one on your list, that means that you are not going to be able to count anything that you have financially. Okay? You got to totally X out your career. I'm not saying you got to quit your job and all that, but you just can't count it as something that's going to be of value in the situation because you're looking for top level resources. Now, if you're looking for interest level, that means that you're going to have to really lean into your physical because you need somebody to be interested from day one because that's important to you. So it's not like, oh, once they get to know me and they become interested, that ain't going to cut it. You need somebody that's interested from day one, moment one, second one, right? Because interest level is important to you. So you got to have your physical on right. All right. Now, if it's resources, then interest level, your cooperation has to be pretty high because you want resources. That means that you got to be pretty submissive. You can't just be like compromise or I want to take the lead. You can't take the lead on somebody if resources and generosity are in your top three. Because that's like, hey, I'm looking for somebody to look after me. That means that you have to be sure that you have to put the effort into making sure that they're happy in the situation, they're getting what they want, and that's what it is. Okay, let's see. We got different ones. Interest level. Okay, Tish, you got spirituality, interest level, resources, generosity, appearance, status, and swag. So if spirituality is like on your number one, that means your purity level got to be on point, man. That means your purity level got to be on point. You can't be out here in the club. You can't be out here wearing scantily clad clothes and being scantily clad, and you can't be on the Instagram straight flexing. You can't, you got to follow traditional values. This is what I'm trying to tell you guys. When you look for somebody who is high value, you're looking for somebody who's at the top of the things that you care about and that people in general care about. You can't be like, oh, you high value because you like me. No, it doesn't work like that. It's got to be because of what they bring to the table that people in general would care about. All right, so you got to look at what you want, what you care about, what you like, and from there, that's where you start saying, okay, this is what I need to bring to the table. Thank you, Ballet Dancer, New Jersey. Taj the Great, you gave a little while ago. I want to say thank you to you also. Contact me on Instagram and I'll send you that live that you're looking for. All right. So I saw a question on here that said, what if you're spiritual but like a satanic? I don't know if people go that far with it, but that was on here also. Sometimes people like the opposite of themselves. So they might be like, hey, I grew up in this religious family, but I like somebody that's just out there and crazy. Well, that means that you're going to have to figure out what they like spiritually. Do they want somebody that's the opposite of them, which means you're going to have to go super hard on your spiritual situation? Do they like somebody who's like them, which means you're going to probably have to abandon what you believe in, which isn't going to work out. All right. Let's get them questions going. All right, we got one right now. Jenny, what's up? You have said before that anyone can be a 10 if they're willing to invest maybe 40K besides plastic surgery. What all improvements are you referencing there? No, hey, I was referencing plastic surgery. So you got to be willing to go all in. Now, it depends on your situation, though. It depends on your situation. Whether or not, like, what it would take for you to be a 10. I really can't even see your picture that good. So I'm going to have to kind of go with most people. Look, you got to, the road to 10 works like this. If you want to go from wherever you are to being a 10, the first thing you have to do is be real with yourself about where you are as far as most people would see it. The type of dudes that you want to date. Look and see what type of women they're dating. So if you sit over here and say, I want to date somebody that look like Trey Songz, because we apparently in the chat section, he was on the list of good looking people over and over and over again. So if you want to date somebody that looks like Trey Songz, you got to say, what type of person does Trey Songz generally date? Okay. Now, if that's what you aspire to get, you got to, if you want to be a 10 to him, you got to say, how close to that can I get with what I have? So if you see Trey Songz with women who got a slim waist, a big booty, and big breast, and you know good and well you got a 47-inch waist, a 48-inch waist, you know good and well you ain't got no booty, you know good and well your breast situation ain't really what's up. If you know all of that, then you got to keep it a buck with yourself and say, I got to at least get in the gym. If I'm not about to pay for no plastic surgery or any of that, I got to at least get in the gym. I saw somebody put thotties and groupies. Look, you can make whatever judgment, but they look a certain way. We don't do that over here. We got to be real with ourselves. They look a certain way, okay? So if you got to look and see what type of girls you see that person with. If your situation is not physically like that, then if your waist is way bigger than the girls that he's usually with, you got to get up in that gym. You can also get waist trainers too once you get to a certain point. Feel what I'm saying? If you want to spend that money on that plastic surgery, get that Brazilian butt lift, which I wouldn't suggest because it is very dangerous. But hey, I'm not a doctor. I'm not here to give medical advice. But you want to do what you want to do is you want to make sure that if you want a certain type of person and you want to be a 10 compared to the type of people that they date, then you're going to have to put in the work to be on the level of the people that they date. This means that you're going to have to put some time in the gym. You're going to have to pay for that personal trainer. This means that you're going to have to start actually putting time and energy into your makeup. Get some makeup tutorials, some hair tutorials. Put time into just your overall appearance, what you eat. What is it doing to your skin? You know, these are things you got to take time out and put into. Like I said, if you're going to spend 40K, you can really go through the roof. Hey, they do have these things also called Instagram filters. So that before you even meet the person, you can really look like a 10. See, if you look like a 10 before you meet the person, and then you go down to about an 8 after you meet them, then you still probably going to be in there. I'm just being real. You only got to be a 10 that one day. You only got to be a 10 that one day. So what you want to do is get your weight loss together because you want the appearance, the outside to look as good as possible. Have somebody help you take the pictures that you put on Instagram, on social media and all that. Because people a lot of times will date you and feel like you look good based on what you look like on social media. And that's a lot easier to do. All right? Put that money into it. Put that time into it. makeup tutorials. You'd be surprised what just putting on nice makeup can do. I know guys complain about it, but hey, they complain about it because people get mad because they get fooled. That good makeup can really help. Getting your hair done properly, paying some money for a stylist, somebody who actually helps you put on clothes that look good on you. Not just what you think looks good, but somebody who's actually dressing you to make you look really, really good. Shoot, you can, in a lot of cases, you can spend less than $40K. You'd be surprised how many of y'all, I look at some of y'all, I'm not going to say, but I look at some of y'all, and y'all ain't far from, y'all a couple just small tweaks away from really being a 10, but you know, probably nobody told you, you know, something like that. You know, hey, if that's not what you care about, then you don't care about it. So, you know, hey, I'm not saying that's what everybody should do. Everybody doesn't aspire to look like a model or something like that, and that's fine. You know, just don't want to get with a dude that looks like a model, because that's probably not gonna work out. But yeah, put some money into your makeup. This is just the easiest thing to do because you said no surgery. No surgery. Money into makeup, personal trainer, hair, stylist, professional pictures. If you want to be a 10. Now, that may not take you to a 10 depending on how far you're coming from. But hey, you can get yourself at least 4 or 5 points from wherever you are. All right, what else we got? Let's keep it going. Let's keep it going. Let me see who else came in here. Oh yeah. For some of y'all, some of y'all asked me about some of the things you need to try as far as the master classes. The best things, I want y'all to try that inspirational bundle. There's a lot of great video content in that inspirational bundle. It's stuff for self-esteem. If you just got out of a breakup, if you're having trouble at work, if you're struggling with family issues, if you just going through a rocky period in your life, check out that inspirational bundle. It used to be a lot more money, but now you can get it. I'm gonna put a coupon on here for y'all to be able to get it for $5. So y'all be able to go in there and get whatever you want for $5. All right. People have been paying 60 and 50 and stuff like that for years. But right now what I'm doing, I'm showing love to everybody. Get that for $5. Okay. But that inspirational bundle is really good. Also, mastering attraction for people who are trying to figure out how to get some of the things they want out of relationships, how to get people to be more interested in them, how to stand out in the crowd. This is good for a lot of stuff. This is good for a lot of stuff. This is good for your business interest, relationship interest. It's good for just making friends. So that's one also to try. Yeah, you can get the bundle for $5, y'all. Right now, you got to get it within the 24 hours. Because, hey, be an active participant in your own rescue. I'll give y'all the coupon. It's good for 24 hours. If you decide not to buy it, that's on you. When the master classes go back to full price, I don't want to hear it because I've left them at $9.99 for a long period of time now. They've been like that for like a couple weeks now, and people have been buying them. If you ain't one of them, don't come back in a month talking about Chaz, that's messed up. You didn't put me on. I don't want to hear it. Hey, Jenny. Chaz, thanks. I always love to hear from you. Come on, peeps. Chaz does so good for us. Y'all better pay him. But you know what? hit them with a sticker or something. Y'all need to listen to Jenny. I respect that. These are things that I respect. I respect people who take initiative. I respect people who show love. Make sure y'all get these master classes. Make sure y'all get these master classes. Because the reason why I went on ahead and put them on discount is because I know that there was a lot of people who wasn't able to get them, who actually wanted to. Of course, you know, you got to, when somebody tell me they don't got $5 to put into something like that, I don't believe you. That I don't believe. Because I'm like, wait a minute, you buy McDonald's or you buy clothes or you buy stuff like that. You know, you out here buying the Jordans. You out here buying that Gucci bag. You know, you got to buy things for your own self-improvement. That's like when people say, I don't got the money to eat right. Use a lie. Use a lie. Because you go to fast food and spend $10, you can spend $2 at the grocery store and get that same thing. You can spend, because think about how much money you're going to spend in fast food in a week. You can spend the same $25 at the grocery store to make up for the $40 or $50 you spend in fast food. You don't believe me? Write down every time you go to a fast food restaurant and look at how much money you actually spending. Thank you, Tish. Every single time. Every single time, I'm telling you. As people tell me this, I used to be a personal trainer. Y'all know I had a whole lot of jobs. Thank you, Lady Marie J. Yeah, that's a good, get the inspirational bundle, y'all. Get that inspirational bundle. It was like $60 before. I'm doing it for $5. You said, LA Peaches said that wasn't Gucci, that was Hoochie. Yeah, if you buying Starbucks, see, that's my dad used to always say this, man. Be an active participant in your own rescue. Let's get up to 100 and I'm going to tell a story. This is one that some of y'all know story time and how that go. Let's get up to 100 and I'll do story time. Hey, get them all, man. They $5 right now. Get them all. You'll need them at different times. The coupon is in the chat. We'll put it back up again. Somewhere in there. So yeah, I'm going to go on my fast food rant, right? I'm going to go on my fast food rant. Now, look, I'm not sitting here telling you not to eat fast food. I'm not here to judge nobody or nothing like that, right? That's not what I even do. But I do want to talk about this because it's important. A lot of times we look at the things that we say we don't have money for. Like I was talking to my little cousin, and this dude was talking about he didn't have money to go to school for his books. And I'm like, you ain't got money for books, but you got on fresh new J's. You got on a gold chain. You got all the new video games. Why didn't you spend that money? Why didn't you spend that money on your books? You'd have books right now. Because this is what I don't like about people too. I don't like when a person, and y'all watch out for this from family members, friends. What people will do is they'll spend their money on the things they want and then ask you for money for things that they need. So a person will sit there and go, I know you wouldn't pay for me to go on a cruise, but you would pay for me to get my lights turned on. So I'm going to spend my money on this cruise, come back and say, yo, they about to cut my lights off. Could you please bless me with a couple dollars to make sure that I can get my lights on? Otherwise, me and my kids gonna be in the dark. And of course, When you see somebody out here with no lights, stuff like that, you start feeling bad for them. You start feeling hurt. You start going, man, I'm a bad person if I don't help them. But you're not thinking about this. You're not paying to get their lights turned back on. You're paying for them to go on a cruise. They could have used that cruise money to turn their lights on, but they didn't want to. They wanted to go on a cruise. And sometimes we do that to ourselves. We rob ourselves. Like we do this to ourselves. What's up, C. Alexandria? I see you. Sometimes we do that to ourselves. We rob ourselves. You know, we'll take from the things that we need to do things that we want on a short-term basis. Like some of y'all, hey, this can go anywhere. You know, we talk about this stuff, it can go anywhere. Some of y'all have been trying to start businesses, go back to school, buy houses, all of this type of stuff. But look where you spend your money. I'm not here to judge you, but we're going to be real. Look where you spend your money. Look who you give your money to. How many of you out here trying to buy a house, but you helping trifling ass family members? I'm just being real. You trying to buy a house, but you over here helping somebody else buy a pair of Jordans. I'm just saying. You out here buying somebody else's, keeping up on their shoe game rather than paying for what you need. You got family, and that's one of the things that's in that inspirational bundle where I talk about that. Settling for success is also one where I talk about this stuff. Some of the things that your family does to you, these generational curses that people deal with. This is what keeps you single. This is what keeps you broke. This is what keeps you hurting. A lot of times it's not just you, but it's other people pulling on you and getting you to rob yourself. They get you to rob yourself of your time. They get you to rob yourself of your money. They get you to rob yourself of your emotional stability and happiness. That's what they do. Any tips on starting a YouTube channel? First of all, I want to say do it. That's LA Peaches. That's a good one. Yeah, hell yeah. I want everybody to be out here getting money off YouTube. And I want everybody to be able to get their message out. Definitely, one of my biggest tips on starting a YouTube channel, the first one is find out something that you really are passionate about that you could keep making videos on every single day. All right, that's number one, because you're going to need to do that for a while at least. The second thing is don't worry about what you don't have. If you don't have the best camera, if you don't have the best equipment, if you don't have a good microphone, don't worry about it. Do it anyway, because a lot of times people want to hear your message. They're not really tripping off of how it looks and whether it's the best ever. You know what I mean? They're not tripping off of that. They want to hear from you. The next thing is be yourself. I know that sounds cliche and bullshit, but be yourself. Don't try to be what you see is popular on YouTube, because it'll be popular for a little while, then it'll die down, then something else will come up, and eventually you won't be recognizable to people who actually like you. You know, if you try to follow the trends, you won't even be recognizable to people who actually like you, and you won't be recognizable to yourself. It won't be fun anymore. And the last thing I can think of, don't get so worried about results. Whatever goals you set for yourself, set goals like I'm going to make this many videos this week. Set goals like I'm going to write this much this week. Those are the type of goals you should set. Don't set viewer goals. Don't set like goals or share goals or any of that. What you got to do is you got to say, hey, I'm going to set goals to just make stuff. So to me, I feel like that's the way to go there. As far as that's the best advice I give you on YouTube. For everything else, get your friends and family members to share your stuff too. Convict them to share it. Now, a lot of times they won't, because a lot of times they're haters, but ask them to anyway. That way, at least you know who's a hater. And don't get mad when people don't share. You know what I'm saying? Give them a reason to share. Keep making good stuff, good content. To be like, hey, man, will y'all share this content? Do y'all like this? You know, that kind of thing. Thank you, Carla. You're welcome and thank you. That's what's up. All right, let's get the likes up a little bit more. Y'all know I got to ask y'all some stuff because I'm in the chat right now. So I got to ask y'all some stuff. Okay. I want to ask this. But before I ask it, please do this in good faith. Y'all hear me? We can't really work together. We can't help each other unless we're doing it in good faith. That means when you come into the situation, you got to be honest with me like I'm being honest with you. You feel what I'm saying? I'm going to tell y'all the straight up truth about things. Y'all got to tell me the straight up truth about things. Okay. That being said, if you would deal with a guy, would you rather have a guy with looks, money, and all of that, like all the stuff you're looking for, you know, physically and all that, with a body count of 100, or have a guy that's kind of mediocre with a body count of 0 or 1, 0 or 1. All right, so I want y'all to put number 1 for the guy with everything you're looking for physically and all that, but he's got a body count of 100. And then a guy that's medium, he's got some of the things you're looking for, but not everything really. But he's got a body count of 1. So if you want the second guy, put number 2. If you want the first guy, put number 1. All right, put that in the chat. Let me give the shout outs to the people who've been showing love. Let me see. Let me make sure I don't miss y'all. Okay, let me see. That was Carla. Precious NC, what's up? I ain't seen you in a minute. What goes through a very stubborn, prideful man's mind during my no contact period? It's been 1 week now, and we had a fight because of bad communication. Okay, well, I don't know exactly what bad communication. That's a little vague, but that's okay. That's okay. If the person is stubborn and prideful, based on what you just said, if they're stubborn and prideful, most of the time, the person is pissed off. The first week, the person is going to be pissed off. Normally when you go no contact with somebody, the first week or so, they're going to spend in either disbelief or anger, one or the other. So they're either not going to believe that you're really not talking to them, or they're going to be pissed off about it. Whenever they cross over from disbelief, the next thing is going to be anger. It's been a week. He's probably pissed off. He's probably thinking, he's either probably still in disbelief and thinking you're going to hit him back at some point in time, or he's pissed off and thinking, I can't believe she would not hit me up. I can't believe she's not talking to me. I'm so mad right now. I'm not going. That's normally how that works. Okay, we got number 2, we got number 2, we got number 1. Big old number 1. Number 1, number 2. Number 2. Number 1, as long as you clean the STDs, I feel you. Okay. Number 2. Number 2. Okay, so it seemed a little heavier on 2, but a lot of number 1s. I think it's probably way more number 1s. You know, history teaches us that it's way more number 1s than people put on there. History teaches us that just when we look at what people who got high body counts as guys get. But I think that's what guys too. You know, guys will always say I wouldn't date a girl with a high body count. But then you see a bunch of dudes with girls with high body counts. The reality is that's not true. Most guys will say I wouldn't date a girl with a high body count. But in reality, it depends on the girl. That's just the reality of it. You know, if the girl look good, if the girl got, you know, a lot going for her, then the dude's probably going to make an exception. Now, I think some of y'all probably are hard line on that, but not everybody. Thank you, C. Alexandria. For some of y'all who have been struggling, making sure that you got somebody kind of pursuing you and not always having to be the one in hot pursuit, check out How to Get Them to Chase You. That was like $60. Now I'm doing it for $5. If you get it tonight, you're getting it for the $5. Oh, we got somebody just came in. Let me see. I got to get down here. I think it was, this is, this is Precious NC. So we're going to do story time after that. Okay, bad communication, as in I gave him a constructive criticism and he couldn't take it. I usually initiate contact after a fight. Not this time. Oh, okay. So if you gave him constructive criticism, y'all started fighting, or you criticized him in some way and y'all started fighting over that, he's probably feeling like you should contact him or you will contact him. So I would say right now, you're probably looking at disbelief. Most likely you're looking at disbelief. Especially if you usually contact him. Disbelief. Next, you're probably going to deal with anger. So if he contacts you, he's probably going to contact you pissed off. Like, oh, how you going to do me like this? Something like that. Something to that effect is probably what you're going to hear next. How you going to do me like this? Oh, really? This what we doing now? You know, whatever language he uses. Okay. This is a kind of a story about a story that I'm going to tell. So I was in church one time back when I was probably 16, 17 years old. And the preacher was telling this story. And he said, once upon a time, not long ago, a man was traveling on a boat. And he was going on a boat. It was the first time he had ever been on a boat. Somebody say amen. And this time he was enjoying himself. He was on the deck and he was looking over in the waters and he was looking through the sea. And all of a sudden the boat shifted. It shifted, y'all. You know how the sea get wobbly. Now, when the boat shifted, the man, he fell in. I say he fell on in the waters and the boat just kept going. And the man reached up in the sky knowing that all hope was lost. And when he reached up in the sky, he asked the Lord, will you help me? I need you. Come for me one more time. And the Lord answered, because the Lord said, I love you. So the man, he sat in that water and he waited for the Lord to come rescue him. While he was waiting on the Lord, who had answered and said he loved him, while he was waiting on the Lord, a group of people came by in a little rowboat and they said, hey, bruh, you need to get on in here with us. And he said, no, I'm waiting on the Lord. So they went on by. Next thing you know, a group of people in a chopper were riding on by. They looked down on him and said, hey, we can throw you a line. He said, no, I don't need a line because I'm waiting on the Lord. Now his arms were getting kind of tired while he was waiting on the Lord. He was wading water, barely keeping his head up, just going down ever so often. And somebody came through on a little paddle board. He said, bro, you look like you're struggling. You want me to let you get on the board with me? He said, no, I'm waiting on the Lord. So the man went by on his little paddle board. Next thing you know, he got tired. Oh, I got real tired. And it went on down. And when he went down in that water, he woke up in paradise. When he woke up in paradise, he looked the Lord in the face and said, Lord, you said you were going to save me. Why didn't you? The Lord said, I sent you 2 guys in a rowboat. I sent you a daggone helicopter that threw down the line for you. Then I sent a guy on a paddleboard. You refused all of it. That's why you drowned. Hey, the Lord work in mysterious ways, man. Be an active part of your own rescue. You got to be a part of it. You can't just expect it all to be done for you. You can't expect a hand to snatch you out the water. Sometimes the tools you need to be rescued are right there. Let the church say amen. That was better than what happened with dude in the Titanic, where he was on a little piece of wood and ended up drowning. What was his name? Jack. He was over here like, she's like, I'll never let go. I'm sorry, like, he just met that girl. I feel like Titanic set the bar too high. That's my personal opinion on Titanic. That it just set the bar too high. I'm not drowning for somebody I just met. He just met her like a week ago. I feel like whenever you say like a week ago, you got to be like, dun, dun. He said the Lord didn't like Jack. Jack wasn't, God helps those who help themselves. I feel like Jack, he sacrificed his whole life. That's on him. He made a choice. Man, I like Bill Burr, but I have never heard him talk about the Titanic. Okay, y'all give me this. Sappiest movie. What's like the sappiest, most unrealistic love story y'all ever saw? This is something I want to say too, man. That I realized when I worked in the jail. Thank you, Desiree. The Notebook. Oh man, that's a crazy ass movie. Of course I sing in the shower. Cinderella, Romeo and Juliet. I was actually in the Romeo and Juliet play. Back when I was younger, I played Mercutio. For some of you who know that. A plague on all your houses. You've made worms meat of me. Yeah, for people who don't know this, the reason why they killed Mercutio off, for some of y'all who haven't seen Romeo and Juliet, you should watch the play. If you read it in school and all that, it's probably okay, but a play is supposed to be watched. The reason why they killed, oh yes, I worked in the jail. If the reason why they killed off Mercutio is because he was actually just way too cool. He was just cooler than Romeo, and that's why Shakespeare killed him off the way he did. He was like, man, have anybody seen West Side Story? So, oh yeah, I was going to tell us about when I used to work. This is for ladies out here, especially if you plan on taking a charge for your man. You know the emptiest place in the world? The visiting area in a women's jail. Like if you're on the women's side in the jail, the visiting area is like is like totally empty. If you go to jail as a woman, your dude is not coming to visit you. Period. It ain't happening, bro. I'm not sitting here saying that nobody ever does it in the history of the world. I'm not saying that. If you taking a charge for somebody, and people do it, you'd be surprised, man. A lot of times you'll see women who are professionals, people with good jobs, people who actually had it going, and took a charge for a dude, try to be in love, and now they're locked up. They won't let them out. Cellmates getting food without me. And for guys, I say this too. If you go to jail over a girl, if you go to jail fighting over a girl, she's smashing the dude that you fought. When you go to jail, she's smashing that dude. It happens all the time. The jail is an amazing place. If you have an opportunity to work in a jail or work as a police officer on the street, I would tell, or even if you can work in a nursing home or something like that, I say do it because you really get to learn a lot about human nature. You get to learn about how people really are when they're in a situation where they don't have the covering of all of the trappings of success in a good life. You know, when you don't have a lot of stuff, when you're in a position where you're at the mercy of other people, it really kind of shows like a lot of the underbelly of who we are as humans. Like and sometimes you see beauty. Sometimes you see beauty also. Like the jail has its rough moments, but there's beauty there too. Like I saw stuff where, like I saw inmates really just try to help each other. I saw somebody get sick and people try to carry them, and I just saw a lot of crazy stuff like what you wouldn't think. You know, and this also, it's easy to go to jail. Don't get it twisted. Yeah, nursing homes are depressing. I think that's why jails are too. That's a good reason to learn from them. Do you think he'll reach out, Chaz? I want him. Most likely, yes. If y'all have a good, strong relationship, if you can hold your ground on the no contact, he'll reach out to you. It almost always works that way. Now, if you usually reach out to him in a week, he ain't gonna reach out to you in a week. If you usually reach out to him in 2 weeks, he ain't gonna reach out to you in 2 weeks. whatever the time it is, it has to be a lot. It has to at least be twice as long as the longest time you take in most cases. So if you usually take about a week or 2 weeks, then it's going to be like a month before he reaches out to you. All right, who else has questions before I get up out of here? We got a little bit more time left. Also, just support the chat, man. If you don't got questions, support the chat. Hit the stickers. And make sure you use that $5 coupon tonight. Make sure you use that $5 coupon tonight. We'll do a vote. Somebody said talk about narcissists. Hit that thumbs up if you want me to talk about narcissists. If we get 10 thumbs up, then I'll do a little bit about narcissists. You gotta get 10 thumbs up. That's one. Every person only gets the 1 thumbs up. All right. I see you, Peaches. See, we got 4 through 3. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Thumbs down. So, okay, so we got 1 thumbs down. So I feel like we should take away. Tish said thumbs down. Okay, so we got a couple thumbs down. I don't know if I should take off for the thumbs down. Okay, people who want to hear about, look, I'm going to talk about narcissists after I do this question. It's probably not going to be what you wanted, but I'm going to give you my take on this. So, but it probably ain't gonna be what you wanted. It's gonna be real talk, no chaser. It's not gonna be what your psychiatrist might tell you. So, hey, but you asked. So, let's see. Why does some men like to put a front like they don't care, but still checking for you? I'll tell you why. Because most of the time, when a man shows a ridiculous amount of interest, it may not be you. You may not have done this, but men often get a feeling when they show a lot of interest that women walk over them. Now, I'm not saying it's you, but a lot of guys who show interest have been disrespected, hated on, laughed at, joked on, clowned, treated bad, just like you see a lot of women who are in the same boat. Think about this. Like, a lot of women can really like a dude, but they try to play it cool because of all the dudes they dealt with. So a guy could really be liking you and feeling you, but he's like, even if y'all had a fight or something like that, or he might have done something, it could have even been his fault. Sometimes he'd be like, man, if I come back to this girl, she gonna think I'm weak. If I show any kind of love, she gonna think I'm weak. And that's usually why you get a lot of times where guys will put up a front like they don't care. Sometimes a guy really doesn't care, but a lot of times a guy does care and be checking for you and, be trying to play it cool. Because, showing too much interest a lot of times is a turnoff to a woman. It may not be a turnoff to you, but it's a turnoff to a lot of women. You feel what I'm saying? It's a turnoff to a lot of women. Now, I ain't saying most. I'm not saying you, because I don't know you like that to say it's a turnoff to you. But, and I'm not gonna pretend like I know most women, but I know a lot of women, and I work with a lot of women, as y'all already know. So it is a turnoff to a lot of women. It ain't just men and their egos. Now, I read that in the comment section. Women got egos too. Hey, I work with a lot of women. Y'all got egos too. Everybody got an ego, but come on, y'all got egos too. That's just as big as men's. It's just that people talk about the male ego all the time. You reject a woman, come on now. Y'all know how y'all act when somebody rejects you. I'm not saying you specifically, but I'm saying there's a lot of y'all that do that, okay? All right, so this is my little 2 cents on narcissists. I think the biggest issue is that now we have done this thing where we start psychoanalyzing other people. Being a narcissist is a mental condition, okay? This is a clinical diagnosis. So if the person is a narcissist and they have narcissistic disorder, personality disorder, then what they're doing is not actually their fault. So if you're sitting over here like you're a bad person, you're a narcissist. No, they have a disorder. What normally happens is you're not dealing with a narcissist. You're dealing with somebody who doesn't like you. And you're judging their entire personality on the fact that they don't like you. Because let's look at what someone has to be a narcissist. Over exaggerated sense of their own importance, lack of empathy, negative relationships with others. These are some things that people have when they're a narcissist that would be impossible to judge based on what's happening with you. So a lot of people are like, oh man, the last person I was with was a narcissist. How do you know that? How do you know that? Based on their relationship with you? Maybe they wasn't feeling you that much. Maybe they weren't feeling you that much. And I'm just being real with you. It's easy because I see it from men and women. I get the same no matter who you are. I don't give a damn if you're a man or a woman. They're like, these women are narcissistic and I hear guys do it too all the time. And I tell them the same thing. How were you able to psychoanalyze this person based on their relationship with you? So you took a small sample size and you decided this person was, you tried to make a clinical diagnosis. And you're like, well, I talked to my therapist. So your therapist diagnosed this person without ever meeting them? That seems pretty irresponsible. Because all they could go on is based on your perception of them. How are you going to tell somebody else that they have an over-exaggerated sense of their own importance? How do you know what their importance is? How are you responsible for gauging that? They could say that makes you a narcissist. You see what I'm saying? What happens is people learn psychological terms. And once the public gets a hold of a psychological term, they try to use it on everybody. It becomes a catch-all. It becomes a blanket for every person and everything they don't like. This is what we do in our society. Oh, you're a sociopath. Really? They're a sociopath? So they have no empathy for anyone? You know what it takes to be a sociopath? When people use these diagnoses, it's like, did you check all the boxes on this diagnosis? No. Clearly you didn't. What that is victim mentality. What I want to do is I want to say that this person has some type of disorder so that I can devalue them because I don't like the way that our relationship turned out. I don't like the way that we dealt with each other. I like what you said there, Precious. Everybody has a bit of narcissism. I'm going to go further I want y'all to look up the definition of narcissism when you get out of here. I'm not going to go too far into it. But it's impossible for everybody not to have a bit of narcissism in them. Because who's to say being a narcissist based on what they say is even really a bad thing? I'm just saying, because it's such a catch-all. Of course, I have a certain sense of my own importance, and maybe you don't agree with it. Of course, we don't have empathy for everybody. If everybody had empathy for everybody, there'd be no homeless people. I'm just throwing it out there. So that's my 2 cents on narcissism. You know, a lot is overused. Yeah, you need to check. You need 5 boxes checked to be a narcissist. Yes. And it does usually stem from childhood. I'm not a freaking medical professional, but I mean, you know, clearly there's more to it. And you don't need, and you can't diagnose somebody based on their interactions with you. So that's just free information. Don't try to diagnose somebody based on their interactions with you. It sounds cool. I get it. Yeah, healthy people and their characteristics, mannerisms, focus on the positive. For sure, see, Alexandria, focus on the positive. See, it's easy to get caught up in victim mentality a lot of times, where you start trying to psychoanalyze other people. So, and a lot of times we do that so we don't have to work on ourselves. But like Biggie said in that movie, we can't change the world, Puff, unless we change ourselves. Let's see. Janae, what's up? Thank you. Can we talk about how some men need a woman to be emotionally unstable to boost their ego, but state they want peace? Are emotionally unstable women are a turnoff? Is that what you're saying? Are emotionally stable women a turnoff? So I think what she's saying is, can we talk about how some women need to be with an emotionally unstable woman to boost their ego? Yes, there are people who are like this. Some people like to be with emotionally unstable people because they are rescuers. This makes them feel better about themselves. This is actually goes right into what I was talking about, the narcissism thing. A lot of people like to psychoanalyze others, fix others, because that makes them feel better about themselves, and they also don't have to fix themselves. They can avoid personal reflection. They can avoid working on themselves because they can concentrate on somebody else. Now, some people will do this even to the point where they almost try to make the person emotionally unstable in their minds. Like maybe they're dealing with somebody who's just a regular person and they pick fights with that person. They try to make that person seem crazy, you know, what they call it, gaslighting and all that. They do all these, I don't really like to use this terminology because it becomes overused, but they do all these different things to try to make the person seem crazy. And that makes them feel better about themselves. Look, some people don't like peace. Some people do not like peace. They live in chaos. They love chaos. That makes them feel better about themselves. Some people like to just tear the world up. Everybody you know how you used to be a kid and maybe you have like a cousin or a big brother or something like that, and they see you over there just chilling, minding your own business, playing a video game. Maybe it's your little brother or whatever, playing a video game or something like that, playing chess, reading a book, whatever you might be doing. And they just come over there and start picking with you. Some people, they live their lives like that as adults. These people become internet trolls. They get on your picture. You put up a picture like, do I look fly in my bathing suit? They be like, you a hoe. Tramp. Why you wear that? Fat. Ugly. Cute wear. You know, this. You're like, what? I don't even know you. I don't even know you. What made you want to do that? But some people, they do that in their own lives. Like even when they're in a relationship with somebody, they can't stand somebody being healthy and happy. They want some instability. They want hatred and confusion and anger. They don't chill. They come to steal, kill, and destroy. All right, let's see if we got any more. And no, they don't have a pick. This is going to get me on a rant, man. Some people would not have a picture and call everybody ugly. It's like, dang, you already got a picture up and you want to call everybody ugly. What does that say about you? I mean, I don't know. Like, if you're gonna call somebody ugly, I feel like you should at least have your picture up. So you got to stand up to the same thing you putting out there. You know, and you're right. That's why you don't post everything online. But you don't got to be out here calling people ugly. If you don't even know them, you didn't do anything to them. I think an emotionally unstable partner is boring to some people because, see, a lot of people like conflict, whether they want to admit it or not. A lot of folks like drama. Whether people want to, most people like drama. Let's be real. But we like small amounts of drama. And then it gets out of control. That's usually how that goes. People like things to happen. It's like we playing a video game and the difficulty level is really easy. You know, and then somebody be like, oh man, I got to get harder difficulty. You feel what I'm saying? But then it gets too hard. Now you want to break the controller. You feel that's kind of how relationships often go. You want a little bit of drama, then you get a lot. Okay, Jenny. People who like chaos grew up in it. Right? A lot of times it is true. If you ask them, they would say they hate it, but then they attract it because it feels familiar. That's true. A lot of times that's exactly what it is. A lot of people, well, a lot of times we attract and we seek out what we hate most. Because, like you said, it is familiar in a lot of cases. A lot of times this is what people will do. They'll seek out something because even though you may not like it, you know how to deal with it. It's like being institutionalized. This is the thing about people who seek out drama. It's like being institutionalized. If you ever see somebody who gets out of prison after 25, 30 years, whatever the number may be, a lot of times they'll seek out a way to go back. They may really hate prison. They may not want to go to prison. They may not like what they dealt with in prison, but that's familiar to them. They know how to deal with that environment. Like I remember when I used to work in the jail, I talked to some people who was like, man, I really ain't trying to get out. Because when I get out, I got bills. When I get out, I got my baby mama on my back. When I get out, I got my family tugging at me. This is a place I can get rest and go to sleep and relax. And this is what I want. That's what a lot of people feel like. They're like, this is what I'm used to. And this normal environment makes me feel uncomfortable. When I get around people who handle conflict in this way, it makes me feel stupid. This is why a lot of people will keep messing with messed up people. People will often seek out messed up people because then they don't have to work on anything for themselves. Because they can say, well, you're messed up and this is toxic and I'm comfortable here. They also will seek out messed up people because when they get involved in that toxic environment, they feel alive. That's what makes them feel alive. They're like, yo, I can't, it's like people, I can't work a 9 to 5. I got to be a stick up kid. I got to fight. I got to rob somebody. I mean, that's just what they're about because that makes them feel alive. What's up, Vivian? Thank you. I see you came on through. And people got to realize, like, when you come up a certain way or you deal with certain things, change is scary because hope is scary. People don't realize that, there's a reason why a lot of people don't have any hope for anything better. Because hope hurts. Hope is the foundation of life, but it's also one of the most painful aspects of life. Because how do you hope without expecting? It's a philosophical question, but how do you hope without expecting? Because to have true hope means that you think something is going to happen. And when it doesn't happen, it hurts. So this is why a lot of people give up hope and they live in a toxic environment. Whenever they see hope and they see a hopeful opportunity, they see a chance for something better, they sabotage it because they don't want it to fall apart on its own. This is why people would sometimes destroy their own relationships and destroy their own good fortune. What shows and movies have you watched recently? I'm watching on the new Suicide Squad. I'm watching Raising Kanan. That's on Stars. I'm watching Marion Millions. I'm watching Love After Lockup. What else what movie have I recently watched? Let's see, I watched that Suicide Squad. I watched some of the movies that I watch a lot. I watched Best Man Holiday just a little while ago. And I watched The Princess Bride. Some of y'all may not have heard of that movie because it's a little older, but I watched The Princess Bride also. By S. Morgenstern. Love After Lockup is your show? I haven't watched Put a Ring on It. Put a synopsis in there, what it's about. I would guess it's about putting a ring on it, but give me kind of a little bit of a breakdown. What do I think about men like Dante? Okay, for some of y'all, for some of y'all that's watching Love After Lockup, I don't know who. Put the thumbs up if y'all watching Love After Lockup. Put a thumbs up if you're watching Love After Lockup. But a guy like Dante, the thing about him, first of all, I think he's a little bit on the maybe slower side. I don't know for sure. So if that's the case, but just for people like him in general, I don't always feel sorry for dudes that do this, because a lot of dudes want to pay for the booty without really admitting that that's what they're doing. Like, I'm gonna sit here and buy this person this, that, and the other. It's like, bruh, if you want to buy somebody some stuff, then just go ahead and do it. But that doesn't entitle you to the booty. If you wanted that, then you need to just go ahead, kick in a couple dollars, and just, make a fair exchange. Like, yo, what is it going to take for me to smash? Because I feel like old girl that Dante is dealing with, he could have probably smashed for $50. I feel like I'm calculating he down about 30 grand. I'm just saying, he's down about 30 grand. That man could have went on ahead and smashed. I feel like he could have smashed for less than 100 at least. I'm just saying. Got to be real with yourself. Yes, The Princess Bride did come out in like 1987. It had Fred Savage and Peter Falk. And then it had what's that dude's name? Carrie something. And then Andre the Giant was in it. Hey, if y'all haven't watched The Princess Bride, watch The Princess Bride. That's a cold ass movie. My name is Indigo Montoya. You killed my father. Prepare to die. Oh, that was on This Is Us. Who watched This Is Us? They did like a little watch party for the movie. The therapist makes them date other people to test their relationship. Damn. Yeah, that's who it is. Carrie Elwes. Yeah. Dang. I don't see some of these shows, these reality shows, are just destructive. Like, here, go date other people to test your relationship. See, I don't know, man. That seems entertaining but irresponsible. That's how I feel about that. I feel like that's entertaining but irresponsible. I've heard of Queen of the South, but I haven't watched it. I'm mad because some of the shows that were on Netflix haven't been renewed. Who watches Netflix? Oh, you know what else I've been watching? I've been watching a lot of Disney Plus. I watched The Mandalorian. I watched Loki. I don't know if any of y'all mess with that. Who messes with Disney? I'm not really much for like the Cinderella stories and stuff like that. I'm more like Lion King and whatnot. All right, so we about to get off. Anybody got a question before I go? I'm gonna give y'all a minute or two. Let's hit our last questions, and let's try to get it up to 200 before I go. Show some love to the chat for people who haven't. I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna do some of those. Okay, let's see. Yeah. I'm interested in two men, and I am afraid seeing both of them will make me lose both of them eventually. I am not ready to cut one off yet. I like them both. The two relationships are fun and peaceful. Okay, so she's saying she likes two guys. She's afraid that if she tries to see both of them, that she'll end up losing both of them. But she doesn't want to cut one of them off because the relationships are cool and peaceful. Look, if y'all don't have a talk where y'all got some kind of exclusive relationship, then I feel like you can see two people. It's really not that big of a deal. What I would say is, as long as they don't work together or live in the same building or something like that, like if y'all work together, then you're going to have to pick one. If they live in the same building or like in a close proximity to each other, like within 5-10 miles of each other, if y'all got the same basic friend circle, then you're going to probably have to pick. But if not, I don't really see where it'd be a problem, because if y'all haven't had like the we're exclusive talk, then you could really just cop a plea if one of them catches you and be like, "What? I didn't know we were exclusive because I didn't say that. I thought you were seeing other people. I'm just trying to live my life." You can always fall back on that because y'all haven't had to talk. Look, if you're not exclusive with somebody, you got a right to be out here dating whoever you want to be dating. And they got a right to do the same. They probably are anyway. Otherwise, y'all be exclusive. So, that's the way I look at that. What else we got? It's not easy to manage parallel options. How do you do that? Hey, that's true. So you're saying that both guys are operating at about the same level. So that makes it more difficult to make a choice. Normally, when you're dealing with a situation where you're managing parallel options, where both guys are right about the same, or the people you're dealing with are right about the same, it's going to be difficult. But what you got to do is you got to understand the fact that you're going to probably end up having to choose at some point in time. So you got to pick on the basis of interest and merit. If they're about the same, then that means that you want to pick the person who likes you the best. You want to pick the person who shows you the most interest and the most and just does the most for you. But you also want to use this as a time to have the upper hand. Look, I'm not trying to give y'all any type of moral advice. Look, that's y'all got to go to y'all preacher or somebody like that for that. I can't tell you how to be, but I'm just giving you the strategy. In that situation, you want to use that to leverage to get the most out of the situation. So while you got two guys that are parallel, see which guy shows the most interest. See which guy is willing to fight for the relationship and the opportunity. So if you got one guy that's over here taking you to Cancun and the other one talking about, yo, let's eat in my mom's basement, go to Cancun. And you keep doing that, and you keep doing that, and you keep doing that until you finally pick the guy that you like the best. Like, okay, I feel like he's put himself in a position where I'm about to kick this other dude to the curb. You feel me? That's how you manage your parallel options. You're going to lose one of them eventually, but hey, lose the one that's not doing as much. You know, choose based on merit. Can you date without expectation of sex if they're not benefiting you? What are your thoughts on asexuals? Where you're not trying to have sex? I mean, you can try to work that, but it's going to be to a certain degree. I mean, some people will do it. You just got to pick somebody who's willing to do that, which means you got to pick somebody with a high interest level. So that means when you look at your list of things that you care about, high interest level has to be number one. Because if they don't have a super high interest level, they're certainly not going to be willing to go without sex. You're also going to have to pick somebody who doesn't have parallel options. Because if you're not giving them sex and somebody who's pretty close to you is, then you already know how that's going to go. I'm just being real with you. So, you know, you want to make sure you pick somebody who is either into you, has a certain spirituality that says, hey, I'm not sleeping with anybody before I get married or whatever type of thing. You gotta look for something like that. Because otherwise, that's going to be rough. It's going to be rough to take a dude that's got everything that you're looking for, because that means he probably got everything everybody else is looking for. It's going to be rough to get a dude like that to go without having sex. Especially when he has other people that will be willing to have sex. So what you got to do in that situation is try to find somebody who's not trying to have sex. Also, if you can't do that, then you need to find somebody who's just so head over heels interested in you without parallel options that they're willing to go ahead and not have sex. Because let's be real, people get in relationships to have sex, especially dudes. Otherwise, they look at it like, hey, I'm just a friend. But you say I'm just a friend. Now, let's see. Vivian, what if one of them is falling in love? Hurting him would hurt my relationship with him and hurt the trust between us too. If you feel like one of them is falling in love and the other one isn't falling in love, because you said one of them is falling in love. You didn't say both of them are. If one of them is falling in love and you feel the exact same about both of them, because I'm not here to judge which one you like the best. If you feel like that one's falling in love, that means he's showing the most interest. That you might need to go ahead and make a choice there. That's a situation you're probably going to have to make a choice. Because if you feel like the person is falling in love, the more emotion they have towards you, the harder the boomerang is going to be. You feel what I'm saying? If you feel like they're falling in love, then the boomerang is going to be a lot harder. So that's something you might want to think about. Let's see what we got. All right, we've been having some going through. So anybody else got one since I'm still on here and I'm doing questions? All right, go ahead if you got another one, and we'll roll off after that. Look, and for you guys, with my advice and information I'm gonna give you, you gotta plug in your own moral code, okay? Because I'm gonna be real with y'all. Like, I'm not here to try to give y'all no type of moral advice about what you should do with your life. I don't try to push whatever I believe on anyone else. I don't know what you believe and don't believe. So, just I'm gonna give you the strategic advice. You got to do what you can do based on your own moral code or whatever you got going on. That's not me to tell you that. Okay, are we good? Let's put in the comment section what we would like to hear about in the next stream. Everybody hit me on what you would like to hear about in the next stream. Also, use that $5 coupon tonight. Make sure y'all use that tonight. Like I talked to y'all before, one of the biggest things you might want to get is the inspirational bundle. People love that. It's going to give you a lot of information about how to recover from rock bottom. If you've been like really in a bad state, sometimes, you woke up on top of the world. You went to sleep on top of the world and you woke up with the world on top of you. That is a good masterclass for that. How to get them to chase you, how to stand out in the crowd, mastering attraction. That's a good one. Okay, I got one more. Okay, let's see. When did you become so well versed on people as a whole? Other than fam, friends, psych class, marriage, sex, fam, class, people in passing. For me personally, I have a really eclectic life. But the one thing I learned about understanding human beings is this. If you see yourself, you can see everyone. That's what I believe more than anything. But most of the time, we don't really see ourselves through the most honest version of who we are. When we see ourselves, we often lie to ourselves. So therefore, when we see other people, we see them through judgment. So what I mean by that is, it's going to be very hard to predict what another person does when you see them through the lens of judgment. But if you see somebody just as a human, and you see yourself and say, man, what would I really do if I was in their situation? How would I feel? This is empathy, but it's empathy in a real way by using yourself in a real light. Most of the time you can't have empathy for others because you don't really see yourself. It's like people who go, I would never steal. So your kid is starving, getting ready to die. You wouldn't steal some money. I mean, you see what I'm saying? People say things so then they can't see what other people will do. So just to be concise about it, the best way that I learned to really see other people is to see myself and be as honest about it as possible. To say, strip me of everything that I ever had that was good, of every positive influence, of every opportunity, and what would I do and where would I be? I think once you see that, and once you see things in the most base form, it makes it easier to kind of understand where everybody's coming from. Because sometimes people just don't have one thing that you have that makes you not do this or not do that. Sometimes they have things you don't have that make them not do certain things. That's a big thing, no judgment, but also be honest about you. Be real about you. Don't put yourself on a pedestal. Don't try to, that's what most of us do. We put ourselves on some kind of pedestal. Don't judge others and be real about yourself. Okay, let's see. Hold on. I'm blown away that people had you available and they wanted to talk about TV movies. Maybe let's talk about priorities in the next stream. Well, I think people can talk about everything. I'm here. I'm here, so And hey, a lot of times you can learn a lot from a movie and from a TV show about your own life. That's why they make art. You'd be surprised how much you'll learn from just reading a play or watching a play. Okay, let's see what we got. Right, like, hey, what would I do if I was in that situation? What would I, like, take a person? This is something that they teach you in acting. Here, before I go, I'll just give y'all this. This is something they teach you in acting about character development. And it's a big thing about life. So for you to play a character, right, you can't judge the character. You have to understand where the character is coming from. So say they got you playing somebody who kills a kid in the movie. Well, you can't play the person who kills the kid if you're out here judging the person and you like, he killed a kid, he's a monster, he's the worst ever. No, you got to get inside the character and you got to say, how could I be this character? Because when you're acting, every single character that you play has to be you or it's not going to be good. So you have to be playing yourself at all times. And the only way for you to play yourself is to figure out where that person is coming from. How do you understand where somebody is coming from? Enough to play them in a movie or a television show. You have to strip down like, okay, why did this person kill this kid? How, in what world could I become this person? What all would it take for me to be this person? What backstory do I have to be this person? And that's how you strip the judgment. And that's how you play the character and it becomes realistic. People who can really do that, those are the best actors in the world. People who can really strip all of themselves down to nothing and then rebuild themselves in the other person's world, those are the best actors. And people who are the best strategists in a war, police work, detective work, any of that, they can do the same thing. If you want to know what the criminal is doing, you have to strip yourself down and say, how can I be this person without judgment? So then I know what their next move is. Because you can't say, oh, well, this serial killer, he's just evil. If you think like that, then you will never find the guy. You won't know who he's going to kill next because you're looking at him from the outside looking in. You got to get in there, and you can only get in there without judgment. I'm not doing one-on-one consultations right now. I am going to start doing them again, and I'll let everybody know. I got a whole lot of stuff on my plate right now. But, yeah, I will start doing them again. I'll let everybody know. All right, I appreciate all y'all for coming out. Make sure you like and subscribe if you haven't already. I'm going on next Friday at next Friday. Did I say Saturday day? I'm going on next Friday at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. That's God willing and the creek don't rise, as my grandmother would say. That's what I'm going to be on. So make sure you check me out then. It's your man, ChazzEllis, once again. Peace.